Here we go. So, this weekend officially kicks off the playoffs, and they are calling it Super Wild Card Weekend. Basically, because there's 3 games on each day. That's from what I understand as to why they're calling it Super Wild Card Weekend. Um, well, I think don't they? I think they normally have it on like 3 games on each day. But I don't know. But point is we're here. We have not had any canceled games. There's not been a need for a week 18. Um, I, this is just amazing. We made it. Now we're down to 14 teams in total, and 12 of those teams are playing this weekend. Uh, Packers have the bye, Chiefs have the bye, so everyone else is playing this weekend. And there is some really good games here, and one that we will get to here in a little bit that is going to be probably the hypest game. It's right in the middle. I'm sure you can probably see it. It's not Tampa and Washington football team. No, it's not them. Don't worry. But to start up, Saturday game. So the noon game is Indy and Buffalo. Indy just barely squeaked in, and because of the Miami loss to Buffalo in Week 17, so Indy was able to sneak in. Now, I think they're going to be one and done. Honestly, I think the Buffalo. You could say they're looking, as good as the Chiefs. I mean, I don't know whose defense would be better wise, but I think if you're a Chiefs fan, the only team that you're really scared of is Buffalo. I think Buffalo can light you up. I think they can go and match you, throw punch for punch. I think Buffalo is the team you have to be afraid of. And so I think they're going to make it deep and have to play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. That's my prediction. I'm gonna probably go. That'll probably be Friday's video. I'm gonna break down, and we're gonna go through a whole list of, what could happen. So I am picking Buffalo here to beat Indy. As far as I remember, Indy has not played Buffalo, so this is their first time meeting in the year, and I think it could be a really good game. I just don't think Indy can keep up with Buffalo and put as many points on the board as Buffalo does. Indy even blew a lead to the Steelers, and I think the Steelers are probably middle of the pack on here. In playoff wise, they're middle of the pack team in all 14 teams, and Indy blew a lead to them. So then we have the Rams. LA Rams head to Seattle. So basically, stay on the West Coast. And you have battle of the NFC West here for the basically 3 o'clock game. I think it's like 3:25 to be exact or something like that. But this is gonna be a really interesting game. Rivalry games are always very interesting. They are 1-1 against each other. LA won the first time. Seattle just won 2 weeks ago to claim the division, and now they have to go and beat them again. And I think they will do that at home. As far as I know, Seattle has never allowed fans in the stands this year. There might have been a game or two, but I haven't paid attention to every game. But as far as I know, there's no fans in the stands for Seattle, so that's obviously a big factor when you're going to Seattle and playing there. But I don't think the Rams with Jared Goff and his injury. I've talked about this all week. And going over AFC and NFC side. I talked about how Jared Goff's injury to his thumb. What could happen? How deep can they make it with his injury? How good is their backup? I didn't really pay any attention to the backup against Arizona, but they played well enough to win. So I don't think they're going to play well enough to beat Seattle. So my pick is Seattle. Then for the nighttime game, 8:15 Eastern, 7:15 here. So it's normal nighttime game. Tampa Bay heads to Washington. This could either be an actual wild card game that could be really sneaky, really interesting. Could be game of the week. And you have Washington upsetting, or this could be Tampa Bay doing whatever they want, dominating Washington, putting up 50 or whatever, and Tampa moves on to the divisional round. It's just, this could go 2 ways. And I'm hoping it goes to first. I'm really hoping we have a close game, tight game. That Washington defense is scary, but I don't know how well, I don't know how well the offense can play. They have looked like the Rams too, and sometimes they look good, sometimes they look bad, and it's just you never know what you're going to get with them. But I'm not holding my breath for this to be a really interesting game, so I am picking Tampa. But there could be a big upset. This could be a literal wild card game, and where anything could happen in this game. So we'll see what happens. But I am picking Tampa. I'm sticking with my gut. I'm sticking with the logical, on paper point of view where they should win. They're better in basically every category. So, but if Washington wants to surprise me, I'm all for it. I really am. So, then we move on to Sunday, the best game of the weekend, in my opinion. These two, in recent history, are maybe the best rivalry in the NFL. In recent history, they played each other last year in the playoffs. They probably even played each other last year in the regular season. I just don't remember. They played each other this year in the regular season, and they had there was a skirmish before the game at midfield. I think what was it? The Ravens. No, the Titans went out onto the Ravens midfield logo, did their chants, did their huddles and whatnot. Jim Harbaugh went out there and was ready to throw hands with Mike Vrabel. I don't know if you want to do that, but he's defending his turf. So this is going to be a really interesting game. This time it is in Tennessee this year. Last year, it was in Baltimore, and then they had Baltimore in the regular season. So now Baltimore has to go on the road and face Tennessee. So this is the game I am really looking forward to. I am picking Tennessee here. I think Derrick Henry is going to be enough. I think he's going to be the controller of this game, the clock manager. I don't think that's going to be Tannehill. I'm guessing that's going to be Derrick Henry. And I think this is going to be 28-24. Titans are going to barely win in it. And it's just going to be a really close game here. That is my prediction here. But this is easily, I think by a mile, this is the best game. Now, again, you could say Tampa and Washington football team could be, again, if it's a wild card type of game, a literal wild card type of game, this could be a really good game too and could, match the intensity of Baltimore, Tennessee. But, it has the ability to not be. So, I think this is why, Baltimore and Tennessee is the game to watch. I wish this was Sunday night, the last game. I think that would make this even more hype, in my opinion. But, it's a noon game. What are you going to do? You're still going to have a whole lot of people watching this game. So, then, Chicago heads to New Orleans. Now, I've been thinking about this game really since we knew where the Chicago was going to land in the play, if they were going to land in the playoffs or not. And you knew they were basically going to get that 7th seed, so you got to basically prepare for Packers in week 17, and then you're basically preparing for New Orleans next week. Now they did play each other earlier this year. That game went into OT in Soldier Field with the Saints barely coming out and beating the Bears by a field goal. You had that funny moment where one of the cornerbacks of the Bears punched one of the wide receivers. It didn't look like he was even talking to him. He just kind of punched him. That was the weird thing. But now this is flipped. Now they're in the dome. I could really see Chicago upsetting. I can see Chicago upsetting more so than Washington upsetting Tampa. So I'm going with New Orleans. My gut says New Orleans, but my brain is telling me that this could be a really tight game, and Chicago could actually pull this out on New Orleans. And I think this, there could be an upset alert coming. I'm going with New Orleans because New Orleans is who I feel is going to win this, but I am not going to be shocked one bit if Chicago pulls out this win. Last time they had Foles, he was not mobile. This time you have Trubisky, he's mobile. Yes, the Packers, just basically held him to, I think it was 4 carries, and his longest run was 15 yards or something in garbage time because they had basically already lost the game, so, it's a garbage time run. So you're playing prevent defense. But Packers or Bears with Trubisky is a whole different dynamic than Foles with Trubisky. Foles with the Bears, excuse me. I'm getting it all mixed up. So just be prepared for something to happen here. I think this is going to be a close game. Alvin Kamara can, if he does not test positive anymore this week, he can be back by the time this game plays. I think actually Sunday morning is, if he has no tests, Sunday morning is actually officially back because that was the last time they traced him and got tested or whatever. So this being an afternoon game, he is eligible to go play. But if you test positive, you don't have Alvin Kamara. I think Michael Thomas is supposed to be back, I believe. It's either this week or next week. So, Michael Thomas should be back too. So Saints should be healthy. Bears should mostly be healthy. I know they just had one of their defensive linemen go down on their home turf. I didn't really talk about this in my Packers Bears breakdown, but that turf did not look that good. I mean, there was in the first half, I think there was like 5 or 6 people that went down with injuries. Some came back, some did not. So Bears are not at full strength, but that defense again is still that can give you trouble too. So, but long story short, New Orleans. Moving on to Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Cleveland basically played a lot of the backups in Week 17 to even clinch a spot in the playoffs. They are the number 7 seed. And obviously Steelers are. Sorry, they're the 6th seed. Excuse me. Colts are the 7th seed. That's why Buffalo's playing the Colts. So obviously they were they in Cleveland yesterday? I don't even remember. Let me just flip back here. Where's the game? Oh, okay, they were in Cleveland, so now they're gonna go back to Pittsburgh next week. This can either be a really good game or a blowout game too. You had a lot of Steelers people sitting out, and the Browns barely won. So I don't think the Browns have a big shot in this to win this. I can see it happening, but I mean, I don't know what to tell you. We'll see. I don't know what to think about this game. It's just Steelers looked better after they beat the Colts 2 weeks ago, and then they obviously, like I said, they rested players against the Browns. So I think a full strength Pittsburgh team can still beat the Browns. I just don't think that Browns have much of a chance in this. I think they have a chance, but not a big chance in this against Steelers. So they're one and done. But congratulations to the Browns for ending the longest drought in playoff history, NFL history, current history. I think there was probably one longer before, but this first time since 2002 that they have made the playoffs. Now, since they've won a playoff game, I could not tell you. I don't know if they won a playoff game in 2002. I didn't look that far into it. But announcers were talking constantly about how Browns made the playoffs. So it's a big accomplishment. So good on them for making it this far, ending the drought. You made it there. Kevin Stefanski should get Coach of the Year for that. Honestly, I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna be around with the Browns for a while now. But that wraps up the weekend. A lot of games here that could be really good. You have some games that I don't know what to think about. Tampa and Washington, Cleveland and Pittsburgh. I think Indy and Buffalo. Buffalo is going to be one-sided too. I have no idea what to think of with Rams in Seattle. So Baltimore, Tennessee is, again, by far a mile, 2 miles, whatever you want to say, is the best looking game, I should say. This could turn in and be, just a dominant force from the Ravens or from the Tennessee Titans. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Like the video, share the video around. Don't forget to subscribe. We made it to the playoffs, and I am out of here. Peace.